And in today's episode of FAFO, the moron who firebombed a number of Tesla vehicles and also, I believe, discharged a firearm twice shooting the empty vehicles has been arrested and charged with being an absolute moron. I may have got a few of the details slightly wrong there. Paul Kim is charged with 15 counts for firebombing and firing at a Tesla dealership in Las Vegas. Don't drop the soap, Kim. Elon Musk chimed in to some discussion about this news. Legacy media propaganda is what convinced this guy to do it. By the way, no lies detected. Same media that convinced assassins to target the president. Also, no lies detected. The propaganda media, the fake news, the hate stream media should be held accountable for propagandizing retarded NPCs into taking extreme actions like this. This moron, Paul Dim, is going to face a severe sentence if found guilty because this is an act of domestic terrorism. Now, why would any sane person do this? I'm not sure any sane person would, but if you're an insane person and you keep hearing in the fake news, Elon bad, Orange Man bad, Elon Nazi, Orange Man Nazi, end of democracy, threat to democracy, blah, 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 and you're also still mad that your dad never came home after leaving to get the milk, you may be prone to doing something absolutely idiotic like this dickhead did. If convicted, bro, this guy's going to spend years, plural, in prison. Part 2, or fuck around and find out. The woman with the impressive Adam's apple who happened to be filmed vandalizing a Tesla vehicle recently is about to find out. From the Lakewood Police Department, we have identified 29-year-old Shaden Hessner as the suspect in this case. I think they might have made a typo. He has been arrested and cited for criminal tampering. Was it worth it? By the way, guys, speaking of worth it, it's absolutely worth it for me to be covering this insanity right now being leveled at Tesla. But full disclosure, YouTube doesn't like me monetizing videos that have anything at all to do with, imagine this, domestic terrorism. So FYI, taking one for the team here. I've been taking a few for the team lately, but totally worth it. By the way, on that note, if you're not a brokey and you would like to say thanks, you can also do a super thanks on YouTube. Full disclosure, I don't need the money, but I'll take it. Just click 3 dots under the video title and description and click thanks. I just wanted to read a few of the top comments on a video covering this in detail, which I'll share in full. These are the top comments. How dumb must you be to ruin your life for setting a car on fire? Great question there from Max Damage. The days of trashing our towns, schools and cities with no consequences are over. Top commenters on point. Now let's watch this coverage. Incredible how quickly law enforcement were able to identify this guy. As I said at the time when these crazy acts of domestic terror began, these idiots will get caught. The penalties will be severe. It is domestic terrorism. They will fuck around and they will find out. And the hate stream meter is 100% culpable here. If you program morons, NPCs, who are not completely right in the head, enough times, you get crazy shit like this happening. People willing to do something so stupid, they're going to ruin their lives. This guy's got to spend years in prison, absolutely, if he's convicted. Was it worth it, Paul? No. Did you think it would be worth it? Likely. What an absolute fucking loser.
Well, now they do have a suspect arrested. A 36-year-old was booked on more than a dozen felony charges. Let's bring it to you from the beginning right here on Live Now from Fox.
With me today is Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Spencer Evans, and Assistant Sheriff Dory Korn with the LVMPD Homeland Security and Investigative Services. They'll be 2 of the individuals speaking. The rest of the individuals up here are also the command team that helped lead through this investigation over the course of the last week. And I'm here to provide you a significant update on the Tesla attack that took place early last week. This event involved an attack on the Tesla Collision and Sales Center on Tuesday, March 18th at approximately 02:45. The suspect used a firearm and Molotov cocktails to damage the center and destroy multiple vehicles that were parked on site.
I mean, just think about that, guys. Molotov cocktails, multiple Molotov cocktails, and a fucking firearm. Totally normal behavior from a totally sane person. If this was a script for a movie, no one would, they'd say, come on, this is too ridiculous. You're telling me that the fake news would program morons to ruin their lives by committing acts of domestic terrorism leveled at Tesla as a way of intimidating Elon Musk because they don't like the fact that the Department of Government Efficiency is discovering hundreds of billions, eventually $1 trillion+ per year of fraud and ending it? No one would believe that.
See to my left, some of that video that was taken from that night. On the screen next to me is also what I want to highlight to each one of you is the very little information that my investigators and FBI agents had to work with from the initial aspect of this investigation. There's a grainy photograph of the suspect's vehicle. a nearly indescribable photo of the suspect himself, and a couple of photographs of headlights and taillights of the vehicle. That's what.
So again, I've got to jump in here. Incredible work, but not surprising. A well-resourced police force investigating this kind of stuff, 99% of the time, will identify the culprit. The amazing thing is that morons like this NPC either didn't care, unlikely, or didn't actually understand the severe consequences that he will face after committing acts of domestic terrorism, or possibly more likely, he's so fucking retarded, he thought he wouldn't get caught. I strongly suspect there won't be a single incident of domestic terrorism leveled at Tesla where the perpetrators are not caught. And this, by the way, includes people centrally funding this activity.
What my investigators had to go on a week ago. Part of this story that you're going to hear is how we arrived at our suspect being taken into custody with such little information. It's incredible work by everybody involved. And despite that minimal information at the onset, and thanks to the hard work and collaborative effort by the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, the LVMPD Counterterrorism Section, and all of our Fusion Center partners, we were able to identify and arrest the suspect involved in this attack. There's a couple social media photos that that have been circulated out there already. The suspect's name is Paul Kim, K-I-M. He's an Asian male adult, and he is 36 years of age.
What a crazy coincidence. Age matches his IQ.
I'm going to transition now to Assistant Sheriff Dory Corrin to explain to you exactly what happened over the course of this last week. Sheriff Corrin.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning. I'm Assistant Sheriff Dory Corrin at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I oversee our Homeland Security and Investigative Services Group, which includes our counterterrorism section. I have the opportunity here to provide the details of the investigation, but there's no doubt this was a collaborative effort involving multiple agencies, numerous, actually hundreds of personnel that have been involved. Some of the key people, to include folks that are standing back here, like Lieutenant Rick Myers, who oversees our counterterrorism section, were instrumental. And because of all of their hard work, we were able to quickly identify and apprehend the Tesla firebombing suspect in record-breaking time. Based on the updated evidence that we now have a better understanding, a more comprehensive understanding of what actually happened. And I'm going to provide some details as we walk through a little bit of a timeline on what occurred and then what we know about the suspect now. So we'll begin with just talking about how the suspect arrived. He arrived east of the location in a vehicle, showed up in a black sedan just parked east of the Tesla Collision Center. You can see on this video clip here, we highlighted the area because it's at the top of your screen. And you'll be able to see the arrival of the vehicle. You'll be able to see that the vehicle comes in, originally driving westbound where you can see the headlights, and then turns around where you can see the taillights, and he reverses back into where he parks. The suspect then proceeds on foot and approaches the corner of the building. As you've seen before, and as you've probably heard, and certainly as we're showing today, he attempted to mask his identity by wearing black attire, concealing his face, and wearing gloves.
So again, I've got to jump in here, bro. What a fucking tiny brain. Let me explain exactly how this investigation went down. I mean, it's obvious, right? You do realize there's cameras every fucking where. They will be able to have looked at all the security footage from security cameras all the fuck over the place to follow this car back until they got a nice clean read on the license plate or other identifiable details, figure out who owns the car. And this fucking retard drove his own fucking car and then parked it nearby to commit this act of domestic terrorism. I mean, bruh. Now, this is an extremely long video. We won't play the full thing, but I'm going to watch this just to confirm what I said was true. If not, I'll share their actual confirmation of what happened. But, bro, I mean, obvious things are obvious. This guy's got a tiny fucking brain. How dumb do you need to be to not realize there's cameras everywhere? If you drive your car, doesn't matter if you cover your identity, the police will identify the vehicle, pull all of the convenience stores, the service stations, the gas stations, everywhere that's got a camera near, and find out your vehicle, identify your license plate, find out who owns the vehicle, and surprise to fucking prize, look at your social media, find your love of communism, and you're fucked. Bro, milliseconds after I say, all right, I'm going to watch and just confirm and stop recording, they say this. I'm like, bro, this guy's IQ is a quarter of his age. Just check this out, bro. How dumb can this guy possibly be? You know, he might get off on this for just severe retardation.
Face and wearing gloves. The suspect then began shooting the surveillance cameras with what appeared to be a rifle.
How dumb do you need to be to think this guy's so stupid? Arrives on site, then begins attempting to shoot out security cameras, having forgot it that the hundreds of security cameras on the way to the location will have captured his vehicle, which they can track based on timestamps. And oh god, this guy's so stupid, bro. He actually might get off for just being so fucking dumb.
See an image here of the suspect pointing the rifle towards a camera. At least 2 surveillance cameras were damaged by gunfire. And then upon shooting the cameras, the suspect proceeded to the front doors of the Tesla, and he began spray painting the words "resist" across the doors. I'll let this video play because you'll get a better shot of the suspect. You can see his description as he goes across the clear doors there, committing his act of crime. Once he finishes spray painting the words "resist" on the doors, he then approaches multiple Tesla vehicles that were parked in the front of the center. He proceeded to shoot into each vehicle and used a Molotov cocktail to set the vehicles on fire. We'll play a few video clips here to kind of show you his behavior. You can see him right there in the dark clothing. He casually walks over to his first vehicle that's targeted. He will soon put down his backpack onto the ground, and then he transitions to the firearm, and you'll see him shoot into the vehicle. Once he shoots into the vehicle, he ends up going back from the vehicle to the bag and then back to the car, presumably picking up his item that he used to be able to firebomb the vehicle. We believe that was a Molotov cocktail. And you'll see in a moment here, the vehicle will ignite and ultimately fully engulf, causing severe damage. The suspect then continues on to a second vehicle, and you can see here he's on to the second target. He'll do very similar behavior where he shoots into the vehicle, he goes into the backpack, retrieves an item, and ultimately you'll notice here that he ends up getting the second vehicle on fire as well. From there, he then proceeds to his third vehicle, repeats the same type of activity. One of the incendiary devices he was not able to ignite, which is one of the devices that we were able to recover. But ultimately, 5 vehicles were damaged, to include 3 of which were fully destroyed. You can see images of the vehicles here. And then you'll see here a drone video. This is from our Skydio drone, being able to provide an overview of the damage as well. After this, the suspect then proceeds and flees east, gets in his vehicle, and leaves the area.
By the way, I just have to ask the question. Resist what? Being programmed as an NPC? Bro, this has to be the dumbest fuck on the planet. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to skip ahead now, stop recording, and just verify that what I said was correct. They pulled security footage all the fuck up and down Las Vegas to identify this vehicle moving, get a clean read or at least a partial read on the plates, drill down, and find this moron. Well, guys, it didn't take long. I absolutely fucking called it, not because I'm a genius, but because I'm not an absolute moron. Here's what they had to say.
In 8 days, around the clock, with our teams, we were able to identify the suspect's vehicle as a black Hyundai Elantra. You'll see a photo here. But what's important to point out here is that this was achieved through an exhaustive review of surveillance material.
Imagine my shock. God, how dumb is this guy? There's cameras everywhere. Look at this. Beautiful, clean shot. Clear read on the plate, which they've covered up. His Elantra hybrid. Lol. I mean, bro, how stupid can you possibly be? So we're at a point now where anyone thinking of committing an act of domestic terrorism against Tesla, or anyone, but Tesla in particular here, surely has to be aware of these arrests, investigations, and the speed at which they're identifying the perpetrators. Now the question becomes, is there anyone left in the United States who is dumb enough to do something like this, knowing they're going to get caught, they will find out, and it won't be pretty? And just in case anybody thinks that the Department of Justice will display any leniency whatsoever toward this domestic terrorist.
What's happening with this Las Vegas Tesla criminal who he was arrested and now federal charges have been filed against him? This was something that was needed given everything we're seeing happening to those dealerships and those cars across the country.
That was remarkable police work, working with the state police, our FBI. They have been going nonstop on this case. This guy is in custody. Laura, he is facing 5-year minimum mandatory to 20 years in prison. And this was great police work. This guy thought he got away with it. So these people better look out. They better cut it out, because we are coming after you. And at my direction, there will be no negotiating on these people.
No plea deals.
We are seeking 20 years in prison. They are setting off bombs, the huge fires. Look what you're seeing. Huge, massive fires in residential neighborhoods.
Someone's going to get killed.
Charging stations. Someone is going to get killed. A citizen is going to get killed. And these people, we are not doing any plea negotiations on them.
Well,
now that is going to hurt. If there's no plea negotiation, that means a minimum 5-year sentence for this moron. Was it worth it?
They better cut it out.
we have some information about the groups that he belonged to, this individual. Let's watch.
But a preliminary assessment of the suspect's social media activity indicates some very loose but self-proclaimed ties to the Communist Party USA social media group, as well as social media groups called Revolutionary Communist International, Hidden Palestine, Palestine Action, and a variety of other social media groups.
Sounds to me like a recent university graduate.
I mean, this is like a cliche of every left-wing, communist,
Right.
socialist, Hamas.
Right. We are looking at, in all of these cases, every aspect, we are not going to leave a stone unturned.
So I guess a nice slow clap for this absolute moron. Was it worth it? I doubt it. Fuck around, find out. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.